All right, so we've been asked to do a short little video on the first pre-production HPA TouchMotion all-wheel drive programmer. This is for the Generation 1 Haldex Mark IV Platform R32, Generation 1 Audi TT and A3. And effectively it goes online into the car midstream. So you're going to get a controller box. This is the brain. It mounts in the trunk of the vehicle. There'll be a cable plug that plugs into the factory. It wires out, plugs into the factory Haldex connector and into the Haldex itself, and then a USB cord which you would run internally in the cabin of the car up to most probably your glove box. So this is the unit, this is the controller itself, and that's what gets mounted to your vehicle. Internal in the cabin, not exposed to the weather. If you trade the vehicle, sell the vehicle, crash the vehicle, restore the vehicle, you can unplug it, take it with, and move it into the next generation. People have been looking at the touch screen controller. So here's the controller. This was a first off unit. It was actually 3D printed, the casing, as we had to proof what it would look like. We've got memory slots. We've got USB connectors for firmware updates. This is the main connection on the USB. Of course, we've made a change where this will now come out the back of the unit so that it's easier to hold in your car and it's easier to mount into your glove box. So you don't have this cord coming out the side of it. So that will be a change on the production units that are being made as we speak. So basically you've got a main menu. The Haldex controller, if you go to off, effectively you're disengaging the rear Haldex completely. The vehicle is 100% full-time front wheel drive. When you go to an economy mode, you're going to have one that's using the torque transfer minimalistically, only when needed, when it's detecting yaw and slip to get the best fuel mileage. Stock, in stock mode, we preface stock mode is a bypass. So whatever you have for a controller in the back of your vehicle, it is really an OEM controller, it is a Haldex Blue Sport controller, or it is an HPA Agent Orange or competition controller, or even an aftermarket flashed controller. That's the program it will default to when you hit stock. Sport mode will be characteristic of the old blue controller. Competition will be characteristic of our Agent Orange. And then we've added in two new features, which are race and speed. We'll go into some of these modes. So there's an active display. If you go into economy mode, you've got let's see if we can see this here, you've got a display of your front end and your rear drive and an active bar. So this bar will be continuously displaying the delivery of torque to the back, so you can monitor that. In each different setting that you saw in the opening menu, you can go to the information button and plug out what is in that mode, specifically what it does, what it should do, and you can hit the settings button to see if there are any additional options that the user can select. In economy mode, there were none. So we'll back out. We'll go back out of economy. So same for stock. You go to stock, hit the information, it'll talk about there's a pass-through, would be OEM if you had OEM and so forth. There is an option here. Here I can select in my stock mode, do I want the Haldex to disengage when the handbrake is applied, yes or no? So I can tick it or tick it on or tick it off. Sport mode, competition mode. If we go into competition mode, we can again see the active display on the bar. We can go into the setting mode. We have that same disengage with the handbrake. That's the only option available there. But here we go into race speed. So in racing speed, our options grow. Quite often you find that you don't want, when you're launching on a street prep or a track prep surface, you want a little bit of wheel speed or wheel spin to get wheel speed up. So here you can set the amount of torque transfer, and again, if you'd like to have the handbrake engaged. So it allows you to dial in, if you're road course racing or if you're drag racing, how much delivery you want to the back to try to get the best result off the line. And then dynamic. Dynamic is kind of the full Monty. You come in here into dynamic, you go into settings. Here you can configure, are you going to be basing off the sport or competition mode, at what percentage throttle you'd like it to engage, what RPM, how long you'd like it to be on. You can figure out how long it should stay engaged in four-wheel drive before it returns to stock mode. You know, there are multiple different elements that you can scroll through here when you're dialing in dynamic. And the best thing is that all the early adopters who pre-purchased their Haldex controller, we've added in telemetry. So there's a GPS that triangulates for accurate speed built into the first pre-ordered units. And there is a software suite in there that will record your 0 to 60, quarter mile times, 60 to 0, and your best ever time. So as you're scrolling through all these different options and modes, you can actually log what your performance would be. If I went to economy and I wanted to log in my 0 to 60, my quarter mile time, and see how it performed against dynamic or racing, or I played within dynamic, adding more torque, less torque, I could verify how well it was doing. And the best part about that, on the early adopters, when you unplug this unit and take it with you, if I'm all done, I can go to Haldex. Oh, excuse me. I can go to the Haldex main screen and pre-select what mode the controller will be left in. Do I want it left front-wheel drive? That's off. Economy, stock, dynamic, sport, competition, race. So if I went into dynamic previously, I'd made all kinds of funky settings. That's what I liked. I didn't want my iPhone look-alike controller left in the glove box for theft reasons. I would select dynamic. I'd exit out. I could then unplug my USB and take my unit inside for the evening, and the controller would be preset. So the controller touchpad screen does not need to be linked or left in the vehicle to drive your controller itself. So I hope that you all liked the first sneak peek of the TouchMotion all-wheel drive programmer from HPA. We're really thrilled to bring this product to the market and look forward to getting the first ones out into the enthusiast hands.